I can't really think of anything witty to say here, so insert title, I guess. Hey everyone, and welcome to today's video, which is going to be a tour of my TBR shelf. I wanted to do this video because it kind of is like a what is going to be like on my radar type of thing, so that way everyone else can see what's really kind of piquing my interest and what has been on my like top to read list. I will say that most of the stuff here is like middle grade and YA, but for the most part it has kind of shifted, and I have a whole shelf over here which I'll give you a brief tour of really quick. That is all my adult novels and classics that I really want to read a little bit higher than this one. So while I still list these books here and on the shelf behind where you're sitting, so I'll have to show you that part 2 on the other video, I still say these ones are my top priority because they're the ones that I want to read a little bit more than these ones over here, even though these ones over here are kind of screaming out to me a little bit more. So I'll insert the clip of where I show you the books that you're actually leaning up against on, and then the TBR shelf right here. Okay, so this is the shelf that you all sit on that I can't show you, so I had to film this way and turn the light on. But this shelf on my TBR shelf is basically just all my Maeve Binchy books I have. I have 8 of her 16 books, and then a couple middle grade books here. I think this one is like a young adult middle grade, but I'm not sure. This one is for sure. These ones here are for sure middle grade. This one is just a zombie retelling of Alice in Wonderland. I've been meaning to read it for so long that it's just I want to put it on my shelf. And then I recently got some of these books, which is Julia and Julia, which I love the movie, so I wanted to read it. Fast Friends, which is about I think just a group of middle-aged women who get back together, like a group of friends that they're friends when they're younger. Of course, The Help, because I've been meaning to read it for how many years now. And A Man Called Ove, I think it's how you pronounce it, but whatever, I don't know how you pronounce it. And that's basically where you all are sitting when I'm filming. And then on the top shelf is just my library books, where I put them on my TBR shelf, my priority shelf, because I get stuff in the library, and that is my priority while I'm filming or while I'm have them out. So I keep it up on the top shelf. So, and then the bottom shelf, I'm going to pull all of them off so that way you can see them, and I'll hold them all up. And if you want to see my TBR, my second TBR shelf, it's this one over here. If you wanted to see a full list, I can do a video where I pull off all books on each shelf, but it'll probably take a little while because it'll be like one shelf per thing, like per video. Like down there, on the bottom shelf, just kind of mix things. My horror books, my Macy Yates books. Second shelf is mostly just my adult fiction, and the end of my mystery ones. It ends right there with Night Film. And then the only ones that I have read are the Carrie Diaries and Summer in the City, but I put them there because it's with Sex in the City. This is all my mystery shelf. This is all my adult mystery shelf, my classics, and then my Danielle Steele's, with in the background has After You and Me Before You, and then just a book that I got for review that I still have to read. So that is just kind of like TBR stuff. If you want to see a full detailed shelf by shelf video, I will do that. Just let me know in the comments. So now anyways, let's get on to the books I pull off my shelf. These are in no particular order. They're just kind of like what I'm going to be grabbing from this pile over here. There I think are in total, if you don't count this bookshelf, on this shelf here, I think like 40, maybe 50 books that are on like my TBR. Obviously I cannot read all those in the last 6 months of the year, but I do want to try to read most of them in the coming year. Like next year and a half, basically. That way, my system I want to do is, if I read one book, obviously like the Maeve Binchys that you've seen, I'm going to keep on there, keep them together. But like the ones that are on the bottom shelf, I really want to have a system where if I read one book, I take it off and then replace it with either one of the books over here or the bookshelf back there, just to keep it kind of revolving and right around that 50 book range, because I feel like if I have too little, I'll feel like I have not enough to read, and if I have too much, I will have too much to read. So I keep it to like 50 because that is a good option to really decide, the amounts. So anyways, let's get started right to the books, and I'll just kind of list them off and give them a brief description of each one. So the first 4 books here I have are just kind of my like non-fiction paranormal books. If you're wondering, the reason why the third shelf on the bookshelf is empty is because my cat uses that as her window perch. So, but anyways, the books I have here are Ghosts from the Coast. This is kind of true. It's not really big stories on here, but it's kind of like maybe like 3 to 4 pages of like non-fiction ghost events of all up down the East Coast. And the reason I got it was because South Carolina's into it, and that's where I am from. So I wanted to get some ideas and get some, history, I guess you could say, of what like kind of happened in my state. Next one is Don't Look Up by Danny R. Gordon and Paul Deleering, and this book here is by Nancy Roberts. But this book here is the real life story behind the Virginia UFO sightings. I really love like kind of like ghost stories and paranormal stuff, as well as like extraterrestrial stuff. So I seen this one in a pile of free books, and I picked it up. I figured why not give it a shot. Next one is by James Van Prague. It is Ghosts Among Us. It's just I think this is like a psychic medium guy, and it's like his kind of like story of different stuff like that. I don't really know much about it. I just grabbed it because I heard that the James Van Prague is a very good kind of paranormal expert in the paranormal world. And then the last book here I have is Sight Unseen: Science, UFOs, UFO Invisibility and Transgenic Beings by Bob Hoskins and Carol Rainey. That is the nonfiction books. The rest are fiction, YA, and middle grade. So the first 2 I have here, the first one is Collapse, The Ashford Lies, Book 1 by R.J. Infantio. I can't pronounce his last name, but he is a fellow booktuber. I forget his channel name now. I think it's Secret Stacks. I could be wrong, but this is a YA dystopian novel that takes place at a boarding school, and it sounded really good, and I picked it up while I had extra money, I think last year, and I started it, but then it wasn't really something that I was in the mood for, so I did put it down so that way my mind wasn't really affected by it. Because if I force myself to read a book, I'm going to have a bad opinion about it, and I want to have a good opinion about it, or at least go into it with a little bit more of a open mind, because I have to be in the mood to read YA dystopian anymore. And next one is Nerve by Jeanne Ryan. This book I picked up at Ollie's for $2, and this is the movie adaptation cover version, and I really thought the movie seemed interesting, so I was like, you know what, let me go ahead and pick up this book to see about it, because I do like to read the novel before I pick up the movie. The next one was one I picked up last year around Halloween. I think I picked up actually after Halloween, but I wanted to read it this year in October, and that is The Woman in the Walls by Amy Lukovics. This one is about a family whose mother passed away, and she was kind of somewhat going crazy at the end, and she was saying that she heard voices, and she was hearing people in the house and in the walls, and everyone thought she was crazy. And then the main character's sister starts hearing the same voices, and they thought she was going crazy, and then the main character starts hearing the voices as well. And it's supposed to be like really kind of like creepy and disturbing, so I really want to pick this one up, and it's a short read. It's only like 250 pages long, so I feel like it's really good. It's probably only like maybe like a 1 to 2 day read. Next one is by Sarah Destin, and it's Saint Everything. This one I picked up because it sounded interesting at Ollie's, and I believe it's just about a girl who ends up falling in love with her best friend, and the family is like friends of her family, so it kind of complicates things. But I want to give Sarah Destin a try because I've heard nothing but good things about her. Next one is another one I picked up from Harlequin because it sounded really good, and then God, I was like, it's like a huge book. I didn't think it was going to be this big, and that is Crash Into You by Katie McGarry. This is about a girl. I think this is actually new adult. I'm not sure. No, she's 17, so it's YA, but it is about a girl who's like a goody two-shoes, and then she ends up falling in love with a street racer, who is the opposite of goody two-shoes. And I really love romances where it's either like adult romances or young adult romances where like one character is like the epitome of like good and the other character is like the epitome of evil, and they just get together. It's just always like a really good story. And the reason I haven't picked this one up yet because it is part of a series. I don't know if it's like a connected series, you had to read everything, or if it works like a Harlequin romance where you can pick up any book in the series and read it out of order because you know it's going to have a happy ending no matter what. So I don't have to see if it's that kind of series or not. I can just ask a question on Goodreads to figure it out. But I think the other series are Pushing Limits, Dare You To, and Take Me On. So if I can read this one out of order, I'll pick it up and read it. If not, I will pick up the other books because I believe they are on Harlequin's website. If not, I pick up on Thrift Books, probably for like $4 or $5 a book. The next books are actually a full series. I'm missing book 3, and that is the Lux series by Jennifer L. Armentrout, which I have the binder of the first one, which is Lux Beginnings, which has books Obsidian and Onyx in it. I've heard some really good things about the series, but I just haven't picked it up yet because I'm missing book 3. I have book 4 here. I went to pick up this series, like this kind of thing, because I have book 5 and the matching kind of like shiny covers, and I wanted to pick it up, but then I just haven't been able to get it. So I think I might just, I think it's smarter if I do start to pick up the books, like, and start reading book 1 before I pick up the whole series, because it's not smart to really pick up a full series if you don't like the first book. So I think I'll pick up this one very soon. I might put it on my TBR for next month or so. That way I can really understand it and know if I want to read more, or if I just want to donate the rest of the books to the library. So this next book, I started to read it. I liked it. I had some problems with it, and then many people had problems with it, and it became a topic of discussion here on BookTube. And I'm someone who can get easily influenced or easily opinionated by books, so I was like, I'm going to stop reading it until it has been cooled down a little bit, and the time is coming for me to finally jump back into it because I'm really excited to read it, and that is Zenith by Sasha Alsbergs and Lindsay Cummings. I don't think I need to say much about this book. I think everyone knows about this book, so I think I'm just going to wait until July when the paperback comes out and pick the paperback up, because I do prefer to read paperback, as well as because of the fact that these pages in here are like Bible pages, and I have a random rational fear of reading books that have Bible pages and just actually tearing one. I don't know why, but I'll probably pick up the paperback because I do like these books and I do want to support the authors. I think Lindsay Cummings is an amazing, amazing author, and I want to support her books. That way she has, more books coming out. So I'll pick up the paperback as well and probably read that one. Next book is Daughter of the Burning City by Amanda Foody. This book is about a traveling circus, I believe, or like a traveling traveling carnival, and then murders start happening. I'll Give You the Sun by Jandy Nelson. I've heard this book is either really good or you really hate it, so I'm going to give it a try because I believe it is LGBT+. I am not 100% certain, but I think it is, so I want to give it a try. Next book is The Serpent King by Jeff Bezenter. This book just not really interesting, and I forgot everything about this book before filming this video. I just picked this book up and it's like, what is it about? So I should probably be going into this blind. Next one is All Rights Reserved by Gregory Scott Katsolis. This book is a dystopian futuristic novel about a world where you are taxed for your words. You have a allotted amount of words you can say and speak, and then you're charged for everything else. And the main character decides to go on she takes a vow of silence, and it kind of sparks this uprising because people are just following her lead, and it's leading to an uprising, and it sounded super, super amazing. I had to buy it, and it's just been sitting on my shelf this whole time, and I want to read it soon. And for some reason it sounds like a summer read, so I'll probably read it very soon during the summertime. Next one is another full series, and that's Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief. I don't have to say much about the series because I think everyone knows the series. I read the first 2 books, The Lightning Thief and The Sea of Monsters. I really do like these ones, but I feel like Rick Riordan writes for a very young audience. I feel like he writes where you can enjoy him as an older audience, but I feel like these books here are very, very dated already. These were released in the early 2005s, like from early 2000s to like 2006, I think, or something like that, or 2005. I'm not sure, but you could tell these are very dated already, and it kind of throws me out of the story. So I don't know if I want to read these or not yet, but I will probably, because like I read these books in like 2 sittings, so I know I can finish up these books very quickly if I put my mind to it. But I have to reread these first 2 books because I don't remember much of stuff going on, so it's kind of held me back because as much as I love Magnus Chase, these books just are not my favorite books. Next 2 books are middle grade books as well. I think the rest of the books actually are middle grade. The first one is Furthermore by Taraji Murphy. I think that's how you pronounce it. This is a middle grade book about a girl who I think is going to search for her father, I think, or something like that. I don't really remember, but I seen this one at Ollie's, got super excited because it's been on my list of one to read for super long, and I wanted to pick it up. And I know my library has the sequel, so if I like it, I can either pick it up or read it from the library for free. And the next book I picked up at Ollie's as well, and it is book 1 of the Chronicles of Egg, Dead Weather and Sunrise. Couldn't read the font, but it just sounded really good and I want to read it. It's about a pirating story, I believe, and it has a nice map in the front. I'm a sucker for a book with a map. So next one is by Kenneth Opel and is Boundless. This is about a murder on a train and a killer's on the loose, and there's 2 kids that are trying to solve the murder. I've heard that's really good, really, you know, I love it or hate it as well, so there's a lot of love it or hate it books on my TBR. And the last books here are a trilogy, and that is book 1, 2, and 3 of the Gideon trilogy by Linda Buckley Archer. This is like a middle grade Harry Potter meets Doctor Who series with time travel, and it just sounded really good. I picked this one up at Book Outlet, I think, on Black Friday, say like 5 years ago, 3-4 years ago now. It's been a while, I haven't read them yet, but I feel like these are going to be series that you pick up, you never stop reading them, so I hope to read them soon, I guess. So that is all the books on my TBR. If you have any opinions of them, feel free to leave it in the comment section below, just no spoilers. If you think I should prioritize a book over anything else, let me know. If you want my opinions on any books, I'm going to try to film reviews for every book I read, so, and that includes the scary topic of Zenith. That should be fun. But anyways, until next time, I hope you all have an amazing day, evening, night, wherever in the world, and I'll see you guys in my next video.